Do you believe a boy with only one arm could defeat dozens of strong opponents and become the state judo champion? It wasn't thanks to strength. It wasn't thanks to luck. It was thanks to one thing only, something neither his opponents nor the audience ever expected. His weakness was his greatest weapon. This isn't a story about martial arts. It's about how a child learned to rise, using the only part of his body he had left. Are you ready? This story will change the way you see failure and yourself. In a small town in the Midwest of the United States, there lived an 11-year-old boy named Eli who stayed with his father, a car mechanic. The family was poor, and Eli's mother had passed away when he was very young. Eli's father was once a semi-professional judo fighter, but he gave up his passion after a work accident left one of his legs paralyzed. Though life was hard, every evening after work, his father would tell Eli about the way of judo, not as a fighting sport, but as a way of life. Eli would always listen eagerly, his eyes lighting up every time his father spoke of the old matches, of lessons in honor, courage, and humility. Until one day, while walking home from school, Eli was hit by a truck that had lost control. Miraculously, he survived, but the doctors had to amputate his left arm to save his life. The hospital room turned heavy with silence. Eli's father just sat quietly by the bed, his one good hand tightly holding Eli's right hand, saying nothing. Eli woke up 3 days later. He didn't cry. He just stared at the ceiling for a long time and asked, "Dad, does this mean I can't learn judo anymore?" His father was stunned, eyes welling with tears. But then he smiled and placed his hand gently on Eli's head. Judo doesn't start with the arms, Eli. It starts from the one place you'll never lose, your heart. A few months later, Eli met Mr. Miyake, a retired Japanese judo master who lived reclusively in the woods near the town. He was an old friend of Eli's father. Master Miyake looked at the small boy with only one arm, standing in front of the worn-down dojo gate. He stayed silent for a moment, then said, "If you have one arm, one heart, and one reason to stand, then you can still learn judo." From that day on, Eli began a strange journey. For 9 full months, the master taught him only one shoulder lock technique. No other lessons at all. Day after day, from early morning until late at night. Eli got angry. He even walked away in frustration. But every time, when he got home, his father would simply hand him the old judo uniform and say, "You can stop, but if you choose to return, then train like it's your last chance to learn." Eli returned, day after day, until his body no longer needed to think. The move came through instinct like a natural reflex. 1 year later, Eli was unexpectedly signed up by his master for a statewide youth judo tournament. People laughed, thinking it was some kind of cruel joke. A one-armed kid? Here. But Eli won. In the first match, his opponent underestimated him. In the second, he waited patiently, then countered at the right moment. In the semifinals, his opponent was stronger, but Eli didn't back down. The final match was something no one expected. Eli had to face a boy twice his size, a highly skilled fighter considered the favorite to win the championship. Eli was quickly thrown to the mat. The audience called for the match to be stopped. The organizers prepared to declare a technical loss to avoid injury. But Master Miyake stepped forward and said just one sentence. "He's still standing. And when a fighter is still standing, he still has a chance." The second round began. His opponent grabbed Eli's left side to launch an attack, but his biggest mistake was grabbing at empty air. In that split second of imbalance, Eli spun around and used the only move he had learned, locking his opponent with incredible speed. The whistle blew. The entire arena fell silent. Eli, the one-armed boy, had become the champion. On the ride home, Eli turned to Master Miyake and asked, "Why did you only teach me one move for an entire year?" The master smiled gently and replied, "Because it's one of the most dangerous moves. But more importantly, the only way to counter it is by grabbing your left arm." He looked at Eli, eyes filled with pride. "And you don't have a left arm." The car went quiet. Eli's father sat in the back seat, eyes red. He softly said, "You may not have two arms, but today you held the whole world." Message: don't run from your weaknesses. Walk straight into them and turn them into what makes you unbeatable. We don't need to be perfect to win. We just need to never give up.